Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're new here, hello, hi, you're more than welcome to stay and become part of this family. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I created this beginner friendly makeup look with less step and affordable products. So let's get into the video. So my brows are already done because I feel like brows are not a one size fit all. People have their own preferences in doing their brows and our brow shapes are not the same. I use this brow pencil from Maybelline. It's in the shade black brown. This brow pencil is one of my favorite brow pencil and it's affordable and it just gets the job done each and every time. For primer, I'm going to be using this Maybelline Fit Me primer. So when it comes to primer, your primer does not need to be expensive, but it needs to get the job done. This one I love because I have dry skin. It's perfect for anyone who has dry skin because it keeps you hydrated underneath all that makeup that you're going to put on. We are deep in winter, so you want something that will really hydrate your skin and not something that will dry your skin off, because makeup does take a little bit of moisture from your skin, but if you have a nice hydrating primer underneath, that will help a lot, especially if you have dry skin. And for the girlies that have an oily skin, do use a hydration primer in all the other areas that are not oily, but on your T-zone, because that's where a lot of people get oily. You can use a more mattifying primer, but do use hydration because you do not want your skin looking dry underneath that makeup. For foundation, I'm going to be using this L'Oreal Infallible 32-Hour Fresh Wear foundation. I love this because it has SPF 25 and it also has vitamin C, everything that we need in the winter time. So my foundation is 320 Warm. I know it looks a little bit lighter when I put it like this, but when I blend it out, it is the perfect shade, and I also think the lighting is doing something to how it looks on me. So a tip that I can give to anyone who's a beginner when it comes to makeup, just put little dots on your face, then you blend that out, and if you need more, you can always put more. We need to tap that in. No swiping, just taps, small taps. It will get the job done. No swiping, because you are actually removing the makeup when you do that. And some people prefer using a sponge. You can do that. It will give you a light coverage when you're using your sponge. Now that is blending. To bronze my face, I'm going to be using this True Match concealer from L'Oreal. Placement is very important when it comes to your bronzer. So I'm going to put a little here and just on top of my cheekbones. Never go lower than your cheekbones. You can do just here on your cheekbone, but never go lower than your cheekbone. A little bit dot, dot, dot here. Don't do too much. And for the nose, nothing crazy. You're just going to take a brush and just dab a little bit on there, and then just a little on your nose. A little on your nose. Not too much bangs. Wait, because wow, it's easy for you to look crazy with contour. So you're just gonna blend that in place, and then when it comes to your hairline, just do small taps so that you don't miss your baby hairs if you have baby hairs. Since we're not going to be putting eyeshadow, just take the excess on your brush and just stamp it on your eyelids. It really does make a difference. To brighten my under eyes, I'm going to be using the Super Stay from Maybelline. For this to not be overwhelming, just get a concealer that is 1 or 2 shades lighter than your foundation, because if you get 3 or 4 shades lighter, it's not going to look nice and you're going to be overwhelmed. Simple. That one dip goes a long way, so you don't need to double dip to get nice coverage. So we're just going to keep it here. We're not doing a lot, just doing enough. Okay, while we wait for our concealer to dry a little bit, we're going to be using this Color Boost from Essence. This is meant for the lips, but it does a great job as a blush. We're going to blend that. Don't worry if it looks a little bit crazy, because your concealer is not yet blended, so your concealer will do the rest of the work. Now that your concealer is dry enough, small taps To set my under eyes, I'm going to be using the Superstay Pressed Powder. It is also from Maybelline. I prefer using a pressed powder than a loose powder, because when you do use a loose powder, you will need to come back with a pressed powder. But if you're just using a pressed powder once, it gets the job done. I love how this blurs out your under eye, but it doesn't dry it out. I'm going to be using this Passion Pro bronzer to warm up my face. It will serve as a bronzer and also a blush, just to save your coins, my love. It just brings back the warmth and it still looks like you have blush on. So I love it so much, actually. For my lower lash line, I'm going to be using this Infallible Grip Gel Liner. For this look, you don't want to use a black liner because it's going to be overwhelming to the overall look. For mascara, I'm using Panorama from L'Oreal. So you can actually just put on mascara and call it a day, but if you want a little bit of drama, then you will put on lashes. I am actually putting on lashes. For lashes, I'm going to be using the strip lashes that I got from Shein. And for lash glue, I'm using this Eyelure glue. For my lips, I'm going to go in with the same eyeliner. For lipstick, I'm going to be using this Ultimate from Maybelline. This is in the shade More Taupe. Then for gloss, I'm using this Lifter Gloss. Sometimes you just need a little bit of lip gloss. To set my face, I'm going to be using this Infallible Setting Mist. This has become one of my favorite setting spray because my makeup does not move at all. This is the final look, guys, and I feel like a beginner friendly makeup look should have less steps, but it should look clean, effortless, and look like you've put on more effort than you did. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.